welcome to Dr. Deepa Dake's NEET Biology, and in today's session we are studying about the process of microsporogenesis and the structure of pollen grain. As in last session we completed the structure of androecium, and in that session we study the androecium is made up of anther wall and microsporangium. So now today we will continue with that session and begins with the process of microsporogenesis. So let's come towards the topic. Microsporogenesis. So first you remember the site of microsporogenesis. You remember microsporangium is the site of sporogenesis, and the microsporangium is called as pollen sac. Secondly, you all are now knowing the anther is tetrasporangiate, that means 4 microsporangiums are present, and all these 4 microsporangium at the same time enters in the process of microsporogenesis. So first site you remember. Secondly, when you study about the site, then you remember the cells which enter in microsporogenesis. These cells are called as microcyte cells, or simply they are called sporocyte cell. These sporocyte cells, in terms of chromosome number, they are diploid. And when we come towards the division, so here you remember what kind of division is take place during microsporogenesis. So here you remember in angiosperm or in plant, a meiosis division is responsible for the process of microsporogenesis. So these are some key points that you remember for the process. Now when we study about microsporogenesis, so here first you remember when the development of anther wall is begins, that here in last session's diagram, in very short I draw here. These are the 4 layers of microsporangium or anther wall, and inside these anther wall the microsporangium is present. Initially the microsporangium is a mass of cell, and this mass of cell you remember is called as sporogenous tissue. This part you remember. Now these sporogenous cells diploid undergoes in the process of differentiation, and due to differentiation process some of the sporogenous cells develop as sporocyte. Therefore the sporocytes also the differentiated sporogenous cells, and these sporocyte or microsporocyte you remember undergoes in the process of meiosis division. When the sporocyte undergoes in meiosis, that is microsporogenesis, so upon sporocyte, when one sporocyte undergoes in meiosis, so upon meiosis division, 4 cells are to be produced. These spores or these cells are called as microspores, and microspores you remember haploid cells or haploid structure. So this is a general process that how does the sporogenesis or the site where the sporogenesis is take place. And when the microsporogenesis is completed, so inside the anther wall the microsporangium show these tetrad of microspores, and these tetrad of microspores are arranged in tetrahedral structure. So large number of microspores will appear inside the microsporangium. Now we study how does the sporogenesis is take place. So here we study about the process of microsporogenesis. When we study about the process of microsporogenesis, so here you remember the process begins from a single sporocyte cell. Only for a single cell we explain here. So this single sporocyte cell, that also called as microspore mother cell. So microspore mother cell or microsporocyte, you remember the diploid cell, it is a differentiated cell of the sporogenous tissue. It undergoes in meiosis 1, and upon meiosis 1 the two nuclei are produced inside a microspore mother cell, and then after the cell division is proceed. This part you remember. So the two cells are produced. After that the meiosis 2 is take place, and upon meiosis 2 the four nuclei, two nuclei in upper cell and in lower cells are formed, and after that you remember the cell division is take place or cytoplasmic division is take place. So every nuclear division in microsporogenesis in majority of cases followed by the cytokinesis, and at the end the tetrad of microspore are formed. When the tetrad show the arrangement in this state, then you remember the tetrad is called as isobilateral tetrad. So this you remember, isobilateral tetrad is formed, and because of this tetrad formation, you remember tetrad formation from a single microspore of four haploid microspores are formed. As you all are knowing, meiosis is a reduction division, and because of meiosis the diploid cell become convert into the haploid cells. So that part you remember. So this is the general process of sporogenesis, or we say microsporogenesis, which is completed inside the microsporangium. Now the microspores which are formed, they are present inside the anther. Now when the entire, this is the structure of the anther, you remember that we draw already the four microsporangium. When these four microsporangium are filled with the matured microspore you always remember they are present in tetrad, and after that these microspore develop a pressure on the wall of anther, and because of that you remember the walls of both the sides comes in contact and produces one aperture here. That aperture is called as stomodium, and via stomodium you remember the microsporangium burst, and these burst microsporangium comes in contact. So this kind of structure you appear in the diagram, and upon bursting the microspores are releases from microsporangium. Inside the microsporangium or anther, microspores are present in tetrad stage, but when they comes out of the microsporangium from tetrad means this is one type of common tetrad, that is a tetrahedral shape आप कह रहे हैं. The three microspores are present at dorsal surface and the fourth microspore is present at the ventral surface, you remember. So at one surface you appear three microspores and at another surface you appear a single microspore. These four microspores get separated from each other. The separated microspore is called as pollen grain, but when they are present in a group of four, then they are called as microspores. So this is the only difference between the microspore and pollen grain. Now these pollen grain when releases, so pollen grains now enter in the process of pollination that we will discuss later. But here you simply remember what is the difference between the microspore and pollen grain. So tetrad of spore, or when they are present in group inside the sporangium, they are called microspore. When they releases or comes out of sporangium and gets separated from each other, so individual microspore is actually called as pollen grain. Now we come towards what is the structure of pollen grain. So here we first study the structure of pollen grain, and then we study what are the layers of the pollen grain, that is what do we understand by exine and intine, and what is the importance of hardness of the exine. So now we study about the structure of pollen grain. When we study about the structure of pollen grain, so here you remember pollen grain is showing the first stage of male gametophyte development, and in pollen grain the two protective walls are there. The outer wall of pollen grain show the spiny outgrowth, and this spiny outgrowth is mainly because of the deposition of sporopollenin. So first you remember two walls. Outer wall is called as exine and the inner wall of pollen grain is called intine. First thing you remember this. Exine, you remember, it is deposited by sporopollenin that we already study in the section of last session of the androecium structure, that sporopollenin is secreted by the tapetum, and this tapetum mainly produces this sporopollenin to provide a hardness and resistance against the different kinds of chemical substances as well as the different kinds of external stresses of the environment. Intine, you remember, the chemical composition of intine you remember very well. The intine consists of pectocellulose. So pecto, this part you remember, intine is made up of or consists of pectocellulose. Now inside the intine, single haploid nucleus is present and cytoplasm is uniformly distributed. Initially, vacuoles are not appear in pollen grain. When pollen grain proceed to the development of male gametophyte, at that time you remember the vacuoles start to appear inside the cytoplasm of pollen grain. So this you remember. Now on exine or on outer wall, some weak apertures are present. Weak aperture means you remember the area where the deposition of sporopollenin is completely absent. These weak apertures you remember are called as, the weak apertures are commonly called as pore, or sometimes we say germ pore. These are the site from where the pollen tube comes out, or you can say the pollen germination when begins. Then the pollen tubes always comes out through the germ pores or germ apertures of the pollen grain. Now here when we study sporopollenin, so sporopollenin you already know, sporopollenin is one of the known hardest chemical. It is resistant towards different environment stresses. Secondly, temperature, alkalis, as well as you remember, they are also resistant towards the acids. So these are the different factors against which sporopollenin develop a resistance, and because of that the pollen grains get easily fossilized. So whenever fossilization is take place, fossilized form In plant, we mainly appear for pollen grains. So why pollen grains get easily fossilized? So you remember, because of the presence of outermost hardest layer sporopollenin. Secondly, importance if you study about the pollen grains. So in human health, pollen grains responsible for pollen allergies, the different kinds of pollen allergies we study. And under pollen allergy, one of the important hay fever as well as bronchitis. You remember bronchitis or the allergies of respiratory tract. You remember these are hay fever and bronchitis are the common allergies and diseases which are caused by the pollen grains of different plants. And second importance of the pollen grain, you remember the pollen grains contain the sucrose, and therefore because of the presence of sucrose, you remember the pollen used as nutrient supplement. So this part you remember, the nutrient supplement we study. So they used as nutrient supplement. And secondly, the pollen grain as a nutrient supplement used in the form of tablet and syrup. So that part also you remember. And why they used as a nutrient supplement, so that also you remember. As a source of energy, huge amount of sucrose is present inside the pollens. Secondly, the pollen grains are genetically important because they carry the information of genetic material and responsible for the formation of two male gametes in future. Therefore, you remember in some of the plant, pollen grains to be stored, and because sometime the viability of pollen grain may be ranges from few minutes, few hours to few months. So for that condition, the storage of pollen grain is essentially required. When we study about the storage of pollen grain, so pollen grains you remember stored at minus 196 degrees Celsius, and this process of storage of pollen grain is called as cryopreservation. So this part you remember, cryopreservation, genetic materials, spermatozoa in case of animals, and pollen grains in case of grains in case of plants stored under the minus 196 degrees Celsius in liquid nitrogen under a very high pressure. That process of storage is called as cryopreservation. So this is all you remember about this pollen grain, as well as उसके पहले हम लोगों ने स्टडी किया है microsporogenesis. This diagram of pollen grain you prepared for your board exam, because in 2 marks sometime question sometime the diagram is asked that draw the label diagram of pollen grain. So this part you remember very well. This much I explain for the today's session. In next session we discuss about the development of male gametophyte, because that is one of the most important topic for the board exams, that how does the male gametophyte development is take place, what are the 2 cell stages and 3 cell stages in pollen grain, how the pollen grain, this is a normal structure of pollen grain when it releases from the microsporangium. What do we understand by matured pollen grain? How many cells are present in matured pollen grain? That we all study in our next session. So stay connected with the Dr. Deepa Dhak's NEET Biology. For any doubts and any queries, you can freely contact me. So write the doubts and queries in comment box. Any another support if you want from my side, so feel free for that purpose also. Okay. The new students who are joining from today, they can go through the previous sessions for the same chapters. And first chapter, kindly subscribe my channel, and by the new session और new topics के साथ जब हम discuss करेंगे, by that time stay motivated, stay blessed and work hard.